Hi everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about healthy eating. For those of you who do not know, I do work as a personal trainer, and that's kind of where this is coming from, because you're probably sitting here going, this girl talks about travel and immigration. Why is she talking about food? This is why. A couple of weeks ago I did start posting more videos about health and fitness related subjects. One was about how I lost weight over the last year with hypothyroidism, and then I spoke about, starting off in the personal training field, and then I hopped onto Instagram and I was like, hey guys, tell me if you have any questions about the health and fitness field. And it seems to be that diet tips is a very popular subject that a lot of people want information about. So I was like, okie dokie, you're the boss, so I'm gonna make a video about it. Longest intro ever. Anyways, so having been a personal trainer now for 10 years, I can tell you that the sort of advice I'm going to give you is going to be a lot more general. If you are looking for very specific advice about your weight loss or trying to gain muscle or anything like that, you might even be better off contacting a professional nutritionist or a dietitian who can guide you better. Especially if you might have like any specific allergies or medical conditions as well. These things are important to consider because in the beginning you might not notice anything, but long term it might end up working against you. Whenever I have new clients, one of the basic things that we do go over is their diet. Now, when I say that, I just mean we sit down and we talk about what their goals are. Some people do want to gain weight, some people want to put on muscle, some people want to lose weight, and so they really don't know what to do outside of the gym. So the sort of advice that I'm giving you could actually apply to all 3 or 4 parties or your group, but it doesn't mean that eating a different way or following a different diet trend or eating method will not work for you, okay? But I'm just saying these are more basic guiding principles. So now let's go over just kind of like the breakfast, lunch, dinner. When it comes to eating your meals, a lot of people don't know when they should eat what. A lot of people are eating healthy, but they're just eating the foods at the wrong time. And so just kind of putting those foods in the right slots during your day could also really change the way you feel, your energy, or if you're struggling to lose like a little bit of weight or anything like that. So the main sort of macronutrients that we look at when it comes to your diet is carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Carbohydrates, we think very generically of like breads and pastas, but in that category there's also fruits and vegetables, and there's grains, and there's legumes, and there is that's it, I guess. And then in proteins, you've got your meats, beef, lamb, whatever, and then you have chicken, you have fish, you have eggs, you have tofu. And then in this category, if you're a vegan or a vegetarian, you might also be able to incorporate beans and legumes, quinoa, edamame, and things like that. And then in your fats, where you might think are fries and butter, we are actually looking at olive oil, we're looking at avocados, we're looking at nuts, and we're looking at nice healthy seeds as well as omegas. So a lot of the good oils that come from fish especially. Now, a lot of people try and eat a lot of carbohydrates first thing in the morning. They'll have a big bowl of oats to help them get off their day with a big bundle of energy. There's people who say that when you do that, you will have less craving for carbohydrates, throughout the day, and because you've consumed a big amount. Personally, I did do that when I was younger and my metabolism was a lot more crazier, but now that I'm getting older, my metabolism is also changing. So I prefer, and I would suggest, a higher protein, high fat, and a lower carbohydrate based breakfast. So a good example would be maybe having like some eggs, and let's say you have a couple of almonds or a handful of almonds and a slice of maybe gluten-free toast, or you could have like some fruit or something like that. And that's, I think, a better way to start off your metabolism, you know, because you're sleeping all night and then you wake up. I don't really think you need a big bowl of oats after, you know, sleeping. So I prefer to wake up to something like that. So that's kind of like a good breakfast to have. And then if you are going to the gym or if you have a physically demanding job, you do need the carbohydrates because they are stores of energy. They are bundles of energy for your body. And so when not utilized, they settle down in your body and can turn into belly fat. So if you have a higher physically demanding job, then you should really definitely indulge in something more rich in carbohydrates. A really good thing to have, you know, if you go to the gym maybe at lunchtime or anything like that, is a nice banana. Fruit. Bananas are probably my favorite. I probably have one right before I work out and right after I work out. And so they're just the perfect amount of carbohydrates you need so your blood sugar doesn't drop, you don't get dizzy or whatever that might be. After that, you have your lunch. When you have your lunch, what should you have? I would say like a good lunch would be something like having a good protein, a good starch, and a good bit of fiber. So like maybe like chicken, rice, and a nice healthy salad or steamed vegetables. I really can't talk today. So that's like a really good lunch to have. If you're a vegetarian, having like a nice chickpea salad or something like that. You can have like roasted chickpeas or just cook up some chickpeas in curry powder and then have them with like tabbouleh or a fresh salsa. So that's like a really good lunch to have, you know, whatever. And then you're getting like a little bit higher source of carbohydrates in that time. And so if you are getting a little bit tired or if you are going to need more energy through the day, that can really help you out. The very important thing I have to mention, just kind of like side note, something just fell into my eye. Just a side note also I have to mention is that if you find you're always feeling tired throughout the day, a big culprit of that could be water. If you are not drinking enough water, you are going to feel tired. And then the more coffee you drink, the more it dehydrates you. So coffee makes you feel more thirsty. It removes more water from the body. And because it's also a diuretic, you know, it makes you go to the bathroom more. And so your body's more emptied out constantly. So make sure you drink a lot more water. And often when people are hungry or they're craving food, it could also be because they have not drank any water. And so once they drink a glass of water, that can also go away. And I think they say like it can help curb satiety. So which is like when you crave like chocolate, drink a glass of water. I don't know if that works. I'm not a sweet tooth person, okay? So make sure you drink water throughout the day. A lot of people ask me questions about, you know, should we eat an evening snack? Should I eat, you know, what should I have if I have it? Do I need it, etc., etc. I personally am not a big fan of snacking. I only eat when I need to eat, which is like I'll have my breakfast, I'll have a banana before the gym, I'll have my lunch. If I train and I don't have access to a meal right away, I might have a protein shake, I'll have dinner, and then that's it. But if I find I'm like on the go and can't sit down and have a solid meal, then I might kind of indulge in a lot of like little snacks as opposed to like trying to find a place to sit down and like eat properly. So that's kind of my answer. You know, I try not to look at everything with a very linear point of view and like it has to be done this way or it's, you know, this is the only way it can be done. So I keep myself open and flexible to other options if the need arises. And I think that's important, not to be so stuck on I have to have this, I have to do this, I have to do this, because then you're not really getting to enjoy your life either, you know? So it's okay to indulge in unhealthy food, whether you're eating a burger or a pizza once in a while, it's fine. But it's also important to understand that you're eating healthy for the inside of your body. You know, we're always so concerned with our skin and our hair and all that sort of stuff, but your organs are probably way more vital in in terms of priority. If your gut is not right, you might have skin problems, or you might have bloating. You know, if you have issues in your kidney, you might have something else. So it's like, it's really important to take care of the inside of you, because that really determines the outside of you, including your mood, your emotions, if you have depression, if you have sleep problems. But when you're eating properly, you're moving well, you will find that you will feel better, you will sleep better, you will rest better, and you will have a lot more energy. So that's kind of like a side note, okay? At the end of the day, for dinner, what should you have? Most of my dinners are generally just a protein, fat, and carbohydrate, but my carbohydrate is a starchy carbohydrate. Now, starchy carbohydrates are just essentially rice and potatoes. Please do not overindulge in rice and potatoes. And when I say potatoes, I don't mean fries. I'm just talking boring boiled potatoes, maybe seasoned with chili pepper or black pepper or something like that. Starch is a really good sort of carbohydrate to have because it has you know, a lower calorie count for a bigger portion. You can eat, you know, quite a bit of it and get full, but it doesn't have as many calories. So it's not very calorie dense where it can like really boost weight gain. But again, within reason. So having like a good long grain rice or just like boiled potatoes, sweet potatoes and stuff like that can be a really good alternative if carbohydrate, you know, sort of indulgence is your thing. But an even better alternative to that, or a healthy alternative to that, is just having good old-fashioned fruits and vegetables. I shouldn't say alternative, I just mean like an add-on. I think like when I tell people having like rice or potatoes in your meal can be good, please don't eat both. Some people get really excited and get carried away with it, but you have to understand it's within reason. You just have like a small portion of carbohydrate on your plate, and you have a nice big portion of a protein and fat, and you have a decent amount of fiber, you will always be golden. Again, this is just a preliminary conversation, and obviously this could open us up to further conversation on this subject. If you have very specific questions or concerns on the subject, leave them down below and I'll try my level best to answer them for you. I really hope I did not confuse or overwhelm anyone. I'm just trying to make this a lot more conversational and professional advice that I would give people. But I think it's also important to understand that, you know, the way you eat has to really serve the way you live. You know, if you live the sort of life that you constantly need energy, you constantly are moving, make sure you're giving yourself those kind of foods. Whereas if you lead a very sedentary life, you know, you don't go to the gym, you sit in an office 12, 18 hours a day because you're so busy at work, then try and eat the foods that will help that kind of lifestyle. Indulge in a higher protein, higher fat diet with a minimal intake of carbohydrates. But if you are a high energy, you know, person, then maybe the opposite would work for you. You know, then there's other things to consider, maybe your age, your genetics, your blood type, you know, if you have any deficiencies. All these things really come into play. So please don't think that like watching one video or reading one article should determine how you should eat. Even following trends like flexible dieting or keto or, you know, intermittent fasting, short term could yield very good results, but long term it could also bring out quite a bit of deficiencies in the body. And I mean this in a very serious way. So please make sure you really try and understand your body and your lifestyle and its demands before you make any drastic change in your life. But yeah, I should really stop talking. I feel like this is one of those conversations that I could just have for like a good hour. But thank you so much for tuning in. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and become a part of our bittersweet travel training family. And give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I will talk to you guys again very soon. Bye.